My brother sent me a text at 9:47 on a Thursday night. It was a laughing emoji, then a number, $40,000 final offer. Then one more line, take it or I'll make you regret keeping that dump. I was standing in the kitchen of the house he was talking about. The old farmhouse. The one Dad left me in the will. My brother got the business, $1.2 million in revenue, clients across 3 states, a brand everyone in our county knew. I got the house, peeling paint, barnwood floors, 50 acres of overgrown pasture. He thought he won. The lawyer's envelope was sitting on the counter in front of me. I hadn't opened it yet, but I knew what was inside. He had no idea what Dad really left me. Ever inherit something everyone thought was worthless? Drop your country and what time it is where you are? And if you've ever been underestimated, hit that like button right now. I opened the envelope, and everything changed. Let me back up. My dad was a quiet man. He loved that house. Bought it in 1973 with money he saved working nights at the mill. He raised us there. Me and my brother, Kyle. Kyle was older, confident, Dad's golden child. He went to business school. Came back with an MBA and a plan. Dad handed him the keys to the family company when Kyle turned 28. I was different. I studied environmental science. Worked seasonal jobs. Every summer during college, I'd come home and help Dad with the house. We rebuilt the porch. Restored the barn. Dug through old county records to map the property lines. Dad made me digitize every land survey, every plat map, every filing going back 70 years. I didn't know why. I just did it. He'd say, trust the house. It knows. I thought he was being sentimental. 2 years ago, Dad died. Heart attack. No warning. The will reading was in a lawyer's office that smelled like coffee and old carpet. Kyle got the business. Clean, clear, no strings. I got the farmhouse and, quote, all appurtenant rights thereto. I didn't know what appurtenant meant. Kyle did. He laughed. Out loud. He leaned over to his wife and whispered, loud enough for me to hear. She got the tear down. I got the empire. I felt my face go hot. But I didn't say anything. Dad's lawyer handed me a separate envelope, sealed. He said, your father asked me to give you this when you were ready. I put it in my bag. I wasn't ready. 2 weeks later, Kyle made his first move. He showed up on a Saturday. No warning. Just pulled into the driveway with a guy I didn't know. This is Marcus, Kyle said. He's a real estate investor. I asked him to take a look. I stood on the porch. I didn't ask for a look. Kyle smiled. The same smile he used on clients. Come on, don't be like that. Marcus has comps. This place is worth maybe $38,000. I'm offering $40. That's a gift. Marcus nodded. He had a folder. Printed pages with photos of other old houses. Sold prices highlighted in yellow. I'm being generous, Kyle said. You know that, right? I crossed my arms. I'm not selling. His smile faded. You're not sentimental, are you? Dad would want you to be smart. Dad left it to me. Dad left you a project you can't afford. He pulled a purchase agreement out of his jacket. Sign today. $40,000 cash, close in 2 weeks. You can move on. I didn't touch the paper. I need time to think. Kyle's jaw tightened. Fine, 72 hours. But you should know something. He stepped closer. The business owns the access road. The one you drive on to get here. No road, no house. If you don't sell, you're going to owe me rent for that road. Retroactive. Marcus got back in the car. Kyle handed me the paper anyway. Don't be stubborn like Dad. It didn't work out for him either. He left. I stood there holding a contract I had no intention of signing. 3 days later, I found out he wasn't bluffing. The letter came certified mail. Monday morning, from Kyle's attorney. It said the access easement required a monthly maintenance fee of $1,200. Due immediately. Retroactive 6 months. Total owed, $7,200. Due in 10 days, or they'd file a lien on the property. I checked my savings account. $3,400. I called 2 lawyers in town. Both said the same thing. Conflict of interest. Kyle's business was a major client. They couldn't take me on. I sat on the porch Dad built and tried not to cry. The house had no water hookup if I couldn't use the road. No power line access. Nothing. Kyle had me cornered. A friend from high school called that night. I told her what was happening. She sighed. Just take the money and move on. It's not worth the fight. Maybe she was right. I almost believed it. Then I remembered the filing cabinet in Dad's old study. The one full of maps and deeds and surveys I'd scanned years ago. I pulled the drawer open. There was a file labeled Easement Access. Inside was a county plat map from 1952 and a deed from 1989. The access road wasn't Kyle's, it was mine. I thought I'd lost. Then I found the survey, and I realized Dad had been teaching me all along. The plat map was old. The paper was brittle, but the lines were clear. Parcel 14A, the house, and a notation in the margin. Easement appurtenant, recorded April 1952. Irrevocable access. I pulled the second document. A grant deed from 1989. It confirmed the easement. The road was deeded to the house parcel, not to the business. Not to Kyle, to the land. In perpetuity. He'd been bluffing the whole time. I took photos of every page. Then I drove to the county recorder's office. Paid $12 for a certified copy. The clerk handed it to me in a manila envelope. I sat in my car and read it twice. Kyle was counting on me not looking. He thought I'd panic, sign, walk away. He didn't know I'd saved everything. I opened the sealed envelope from Dad's lawyer that night. Inside was a business card. Estate specialist. 2 counties over, and a handwritten note from Dad. When you're ready, call him. He knows. I called the next morning. His name was Ed. He listened for 3 minutes without interrupting. Then he said, I've been waiting for you to find that survey. Your father told me you would. I asked him what to do. He said, let me make a few calls. And don't sign anything. But that wasn't the only thing Dad left in that cabinet. 2 days later, I found out how deep this went. Kyle found out I'd hired a lawyer. I don't know how. Small town, I guess. He called me directly. Wednesday afternoon. Hey, he said. His voice was light, friendly. Let's not do this. Let's not fight. You sent me a lean threat, Kyle. That was business. This is family. I didn't say anything. He shifted gears. You know how much legal fees cost? You'll spend more than the house is worth. Just take the 40. We'll forget this happened. No. The line went quiet for a second. Then his voice changed. Fine, but you're making a mistake. He hung up. An hour later, my phone started buzzing. Group text. Extended family. Kyle had sent a message to everyone. Heartbroken that my sister is rejecting Dad's wishes and trying to claim things that were meant to keep the business whole. Dad told me privately he wanted her to sell. I'm just trying to honor him. 3 cousins texted me within 10 minutes. Can't you just be reasonable? Kyle's trying to keep the family together. Dad wouldn't want this. I turned my phone off. 2 days later, Kyle published an op-ed in the local paper. Headline, Preserving Family Legacy in a Changing Economy. He's on the Chamber of Commerce. People listened to him. I started getting looks at the grocery store. Then Ed called. They filed a quiet title suit. Hearing in 28 days. My stomach dropped. Can we win? Yes, he said. But let him talk. Let him build his case. We're building something bigger. I wanted to scream the truth. But I waited. Because I knew what was coming. Ed ordered a title search. The deep kind. He also ordered a commercial appraisal. The results came back in a FedEx envelope on a Monday. I opened it at the kitchen table. 3 documents. First, subsurface mineral rights, severed in 1960, still attached to the house parcel. A gravel quarry 2 miles away was expanding. They wanted a lease. Estimated value of the rights, $280,000. Second, the appraisal. The county had rezoned the land 18 months ago. Mixed-use residential commercial corridor. Current fair market value, $670,000 to $920,000. Kyle's offer, $40,000. I stared at the page. Third document, a copy of the rezoning notice, mailed to all landowners in the affected zone. There were 2 names on the list for my address, mine and Kyle's, as registered agent for the business. He knew. He'd known for a year and a half. Ed called that afternoon. He's not trying to help you. He's trying to bury what that land is worth. I felt something cold settle in my chest. Not anger, clarity. He didn't want the house. He wanted to erase what it could become. And I had every receipt to prove it. Ed didn't stop there. He pulled Kyle's business filings. Public record. What he found explained everything. The company had $840,000 in unsecured debt. 2 vendor payments were 60 days overdue. The line of credit was maxed. Kyle was drowning. And then Ed found the emails. Discovery subpoena. Kyle had been sloppy. He'd been talking to a commercial developer. Regional retail chain. Subject line, Parcel 14A acquisition timeline. The developer had offered $800,000 contingent on clear title. Kyle's plan was simple. Buy the land from me for $40,000. Flip it for $800,000. Save the business. Use me to bail himself out. The op-ed, the family pressure, the fake easement fees, it was all cover. Ed sent me one more document. A memo Dad had written 2 years before he died. Tucked into the LLC filing I didn't know existed, it said, I gave Kyle the business to prove himself. I gave you the land to protect you. He'll need to earn his way. You'll need to stand yours. I'm proud of you both, but I trust you to remember what matters. I read it 3 times. Dad knew. He knew Kyle would come for it. And he knew I'd fight back. Now I knew exactly what to do. Ed and I built the response together. 2 parts. First, file a counter motion to quiet title. Attach the easement deed, the appraisal, the LLC documents, the rezoning notice with Kyle's name on it. Request dismissal with prejudice. Request sanctions for filing a frivolous claim. Second, serve Kyle with formal notice. Any interference with property access, any public defamation, any continued harassment would trigger a claim for tortious interference and civil conspiracy. No family group chat. No op-ed response. Just law, just facts. Ed filed electronically at 4:47 on a Friday afternoon. Proof of service by 5 p.m. I didn't call Kyle. I didn't text him. I let the papers speak. That weekend, I walked the property. 50 acres. The barn Dad and I restored. The porch where he used to sit with his coffee. I wasn't going to let someone take it because they were louder than me. I wasn't going to let shame or pressure or fake sentiment decide what I deserved. Dad didn't leave me a house. He left me a choice. Stand my ground or give it away. I chose to stand. The hearing was set for 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. I got there early, and I watched my brother walk into a room he thought he controlled. He had no idea what was waiting. The hearing room was small. Wood paneling. A single judge's bench. Kyle walked in with his attorney. Expensive suit. Confident. He saw me sitting with Ed. His face flickered. Just for a second. The judge entered. We stood. She sat down and opened both motions. Counselor, she said, looking at Kyle's lawyer, you filed to quiet title on an access easement your client claims ownership of, correct? Yes, Your Honor. The easement runs through property historically associated with... Let me stop you there. She turned a page. The respondent has submitted a 1952 plat map, a certified county deed, and an appraisal showing significantly different facts. Do you have evidence your client holds title to this easement? Kyle's attorney hesitated. We believed based on historic family understanding. Do you have a deed? No, Your Honor. The judge looked at Ed. Counsel? Ed stood, calm, clear. Your Honor, we've provided 4 exhibits. Exhibit A, the 1952 easement deed showing irrevocable access tied to Parcel 14A, my client's property. Exhibit B, a current certified appraisal valuing the parcel between $670,000 and $920,000. Exhibit C, the county rezoning notice mailed to all affected landowners, including the petitioner 18 months ago. He had full knowledge of the property's value. Exhibit D, email correspondence between the petitioner and a commercial developer discussing acquisition of my client's land. The judge leaned forward. Your client knew the property's value and still filed the suit? Yes, Your Honor. She looked at Kyle. Sir, you were copied on a rezoning notice that increased your sister's land value by more than $500,000. And you filed a claim asserting ownership of an easement you never held. Is that correct? Kyle's attorney tried to speak. The judge held up a hand. This is borderline Rule 11, counselor. Frivolous pleading. She closed the file. Motion to quiet title is dismissed with prejudice. Respondent's counter motion is granted. The court finds the easement belongs solely to Parcel 14A. Petitioner is ordered to pay respondent's attorney's fees in the amount of $4,200. She signed the order. It was over. Kyle's face went pale. He didn't look at me. In the hallway afterward, he tried. I was under pressure. I cut him off. You had a choice. You chose this. I walked out into the sunlight. Ed handed me the signed judgment. I folded it carefully. And I drove home. Kyle's business survived. Barely. He sold 40% to a private equity group 3 months later. Lost operational control. Kept a job. It wasn't what he wanted, but it was consequences. Not destruction. Just boundaries. The family thawed. Slowly. 2 cousins apologized privately. 1 sent flowers. I didn't push for reconciliation. I didn't need it. I hired a contractor. Dad's old friend, actually. A guy who'd helped us build the porch. We started a phased renovation. The house became something new. Ground floor, a nonprofit community workshop. Carpentry classes. Land stewardship programs. Dad's old tools on the wall, labeled with his name. Upper floor, a small recording studio I rent to local artists. It generates income, covers property tax, and then some. I moved into the finished studio apartment. I wake up to 50 acres of quiet. The mineral rights lease with the quarry came through. $18,000 a year, passive income. I put it in a trust for future upkeep. I planted an oak sapling in the yard, right where Dad used to park his truck. It's small now, but it'll grow. Ed sent me a final letter a few months after the hearing. Inside was one more document. Dad's handwritten note. The one from the LLC filing. The business will test him. The land will teach you. I'm proud of you both, but I trust you to remember what matters. I framed it. It's on the wall in the kitchen. Kyle texted me 6 months later. Just 2 lines. You were right. I'm sorry. I thought about it for a day. Then I replied, I hope you figure it out. No reconciliation yet. Maybe someday, but boundaries first. Not bridges. The moral? Patience and paperwork beat pressure and performance every single time. My father didn't leave me a house. He left me a choice. To stand my ground or give it away. I chose to stand. And I'm still standing. So here's my question for you. Have you ever had to fight for something everyone told you to let go? Have you ever been the one who kept the receipts when no one thought it mattered? Drop your story in the comments. I read them. And if you believe in keeping records, protecting what's yours and letting the truth do the talking, subscribe. Because we're just getting started. This has been a fictionalized dramatization for entertainment purposes and is not legal or financial advice. But the lesson is real. Know your worth. Keep your proof. And never let someone else write the ending to your story. Thanks for watching.